Alright, the drill press I started taking apart. Now, let's see if I can get that number right there. See that? Yeah, okay. That's more for me than for you. Alright, so I took the lid off. I'm going to hold you right there for a second. And I'm going to reach around here. And, I'm going to reach around and grab the lid. Delta. The lid is fairly simple. There's two pins sticking out here, and you just flex the lid in and out a little bit, take it on and off. So the lid came off from here, and I've taken some other screws out from here. There's a bolt right here, handle that locks the quill, and then what did I do? Oh, I took the screw out right here. It was a weird nut and a bolt right here on the depth stop, and I've taken the depth stop apart because I wanted to clean it because this thing has been grody as you would not believe. Anyhow, so I took that apart, and this up here, can you even see that anymore? I can't even see my camera. All right, what we got here? Okay, yeah, you can see the shaft. All right, so the top of the shaft, put my hand on top of the shaft. You don't really need to know that. Top of the shaft actually sticks up a little bit higher than it's supposed to. There's a notch cut into the side of the quill here where this is supposed to sit. And I think something is missing in here because this just freely floats up and down, and there's a notch in the quill for it. So I think maybe the notch has been broken off of this retainer. So anyhow, I can't get the remainder of this to come off. This is cast iron. And because of the chuck. So do I need to remove the chuck? That's my problem. All right, so taking this apart, I'd love to stick this, the quill downfeed and whatnot, out and clean this because this thing is nasty rusty. And put it down here in my bucket of what do you call it? Evapor rust. Anyhow, we don't have that luxury right now. I'm trying to figure out at what point I need to stop. Now, as I've been going through all this, my the quill bearings seem fine and everything seems nice and tight. And I'm afraid if I go and take that out, that I'm going to have problems. You know, when I put it back together, I'm going to have some problems. Plus, I can't figure out how to get the pulley off so I can pull the whole quill out, which was what will happen if I take this out. The whole quill will drop down, and I can't figure out how to take this out. So that's been my problem right now. Now, what I got over here, though, that needs new bearings. They're not completely gone, but this motor definitely needs new bearings. They're a little worn. And let me take y'all up top here, and I'll show you. Whoops. You see all that gunk? Look at the dirt that was just sitting in the top of this. So, and she's rusty. That is super rusty. And now, right here is the set screws for the pulley on here. That's the set screw holes. There's two of them, but one is missing. Go figure. And here's the little pins. See, it's just a little pin, and you flex a cover over them. So that's not all too bad. Now, I removed a screw right here. There's a rod with a big spring in here, and that pushes out on the motor to tension it. And that rod is a little rusty, and I think I need to take that out. I got to take a motor out, and I removed the quill lock, is this bolt right here. This thing was so gross you couldn't even see it. But now that I've got it clean, there's actually numbers on it, right? Let's see if you can see a number. All right, you see that 0? All right. So I have a little bit of play. And what I've been discovering is when I go all the way down with the drill press, right? when I return, I set that at 0. When I return, you see that thing over traveling? And see how 0 is no longer on the marker? Well, you son of a gun, that's the first time it's actually done it correctly. So you take the mechanic, and I'm sorry about my damn hands. This was not shiny. This was covered in black funk. And so anyhow, we got to do that. Now you see this little pile of stuff? There was just gobs of nasty goo and grease all over everything. And let's see if I drop this down, you can see what I was talking about. That goo right there. Right? It's goo right there. And I want to take that stuff off and clean it. Because I want to paint this thing. Because somebody else has painted it once before. And you can tell by the tag. See the paint on the tag. And the paint on the lid. They tried, but they didn't do it quite right. And yeah. Now, most of these come with the start-stop right here if it's single-phase. But this is 3-phase motor. And they built a little motor thingamababa starter switch right there. Alright, so we got that. And I've taken off the drill chuck. Not the drill chuck. The key for the chuck was so rusty hanging on its chain and all that it's down here in the evaporust. And if you look, this is just random schmutz I've done gotten off from cleaning this. And this, I had the inspection mirror out. I had to check this quill right here. I've got to take the chuck off, right? To get this piece off, I've got to take the chuck off. So I'm going the wrong direction. And there's a hard spot in this that I need 2 hands for. Now, they built a extension for this, for the foot, to keep this drill from leaning side to side, which means they were probably putting something pretty heavy on it. They didn't have it bolted to the floor. So I want to get this off because that cast iron base is probably the nastiest thing in the world on this whole operation. And you come back up here in the shaft and all is really grody and rusty. And down here, that's a half circle lock. So the table won't drop any further down than that. Now, I've taken out the bolt for the table lock. I've taken out the bolt here. That's in evaporust right at the moment. So I can come back and use this and take this off. And there's the other handle. One half is a cap screw or whatever. And the other half is a handle. Well, the handle's been broken. No, wait. Okay, the handle was broken on this. So anyhow, I got to remove that and put this all in the evaporust. And then I can move this all up and down. I'm going to take a table off. And after I take a table off, we're going to be able to move this a whole lot easier up and down the shaft while I try to polish the shaft off. As you can see, it's a little gross down there at the bottom. But I was thinking I'd take all the weight off the top up here before I go down here, try to work, because I had to lean this over while I'm working on it to try to get that off. Now, this drill weighs about 250 pounds. I figured out putting it in the truck the other day by myself. And, yeah, you wouldn't think it weighs that much, but it does. It might be a little less because I can pick it up fairly easily and move it around, but it's somewhere in that range, 250 pounds. So that means this piece right here is probably 100 pounds or more just in itself. It's a piece of cast iron. And so I thought, you know, I don't know how I'm going to get the head off. I see one bolt right here and somewhere up here in the bottom here, there was markings. I thought that meant that was a split casting. And this bolt right here, which has the weirdest nut I've ever seen right here. So that bolt holds the quill, or the whole head, on top of the quill, or on top of the pillar. This is the pillar. So that bolt holds the whole thing squeezes the casting onto it. And I don't know exactly how that works. Now, today is March 12th. And what do we have going on here is today is March 12th, and we're having a thunderstorm right now. It's 50 degrees outside. It's raining. And by 12 o'clock, it is supposed to be snowing. So, I got that going for me. Now, you see this little door right here. I want to show you what's inside of that. I need a flashlight for that, though. So, I'll bring y'all back in a few minutes.